This is what psychological slavery looks like. Take a listen.
Trump is the first black president.
Amen.
Because he's the first one that has actually addressed issues in the black community. Like, Obama didn't do it.
He said it, not me.
I mean, in my lifetime, I've gone through Clinton, Bush, and Obama. Neither of them have done anything.
They certainly haven't advocated for responsibility and taking ownership of your own life and knowing that you are an individual and that in America, you have freedom. We defined you as free.
They didn't even put America first. You know, Donald J. Trump puts America first. So you got to love that, man.
Awesome.
Got to.
You guys, this event is absolutely incredible. What's happening in this country, what's happening here in the heart of Los Angeles, California. We are flipping California red. And we are taking America back for red, white, and blue. All colors, all flavors, all races, all religions. It's all e pluribus unum, from the many one. We are one people, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
We need to talk, Black MAGA. We definitely need to talk. And I don't mean political pundit talk. I mean kitchen table, you kicked out of the family kind of talk. You know, how do we get here kind of talk. So for now, the community has been watching this Black MAGA. We've been watching you, Black MAGA, with a wave of confusion, a little bit of pity. We saw the hats, saw the photo ops, and quite frankly, most of us just shook our heads and went back to work, right? We figured, okay, every family has that cuckoo cousin, that one cousin, you know, who want to be contrarian and all that just for the sake of it. We laughed it off because we thought there were certain lines that even y'all wouldn't cross. But in the recent noise, the comments from our girl Chili coming for Michelle Obama? Now, y'all just crossed the line when you did that. She crossed the line when she did that.
Yeah.
See, you can play as many political games as y'all want to. You could talk about tax brackets and deregulation until you blue in the face. But when you take aim at Michelle Obama, a woman who represented us with more grace, more style, more intellect, and more unshakable dignity than this country probably deserved, you ain't just thinking of yourself no more. You are actively trying to tear down the mirrors we use to see our own excellence. You done lost your mind, Black MAGA. You're coming for the blueprint, and this is where the laughing stops and the contempt for y'all begins. Right here, right now.
Okay, so let's be real now. This isn't about a brother in a MAGA hat, right? This is about a disease in our community, a deep generational brainwashing that makes us defend the very system that was built to keep us down. That is not freedom, my brothers and sisters. That is psychological slavery. When I see a black man calling Trump the first black president, I don't see pride. I see pain that has not been processed. I see somebody who's been so down by the system, so hungry for identity, that he grabs the first thing that makes him feel powerful, even if it's a lie. Let me say this loud and clear. Trump is not and never will be the first black president. He's the first to convince some of us that our liberation lies in submission. He's the first to wear racism in plain sight while using black faces as political props to say, see, I can't be racist. And some of y'all fell for it hard. But it's not just him. It's a systemic strategy. Replace our history with propaganda. Feed us toxic masculinity and call it strength. Preach personal responsibility while defunding our schools, stealing our votes, locking us up, and calling our leaders thugs. That's not love, y'all. That's manipulation. Now, don't get me wrong. We have every right to criticize past Democratic leaders, even Obama. But please don't ever confuse critique with betrayal. Don't sell your soul to the same movement that would have had your grandmother picking cotton with a smile, just because they told you you're different. You want to be a patriot? Cool, be one. But please don't co-sign a man who banned DEI programs, praised Confederate statues, refused to say Black Lives Matter, told the police to rough up suspects, aka us, and tried to erase the teachings of slavery and racism in schools. You can't wear a red hat and act like you represent freedom.
The media gives them an incredible amount of attention until the election is over. And then suddenly their usefulness drops off of a cliff because Black MAGA is kind of boring. They hold very few consistent ideological positions. They have no real political project and have no institutional political power. The power that they do have is entirely tied up with white supremacist bigots who call them slurs and DEI hires the moment they are out of earshot. They exist for the sole purpose of nodding vigorously at every word that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, and they know it. We all know it.
Where's your moral compass? We were raised by grandmothers and grandfathers who taught us that character matters. We were raised in a tradition where how you treat the least of us defines who we are. And yet we see Black MAGA supporters bending over backward to justify that bullying, that xenophobia, that racism, and the blatant disrespect for anybody who doesn't bow down. When you see a leader mocking the vulnerable, disparaging our sisters, inciting division, and you still fix your mouth to defend it, you still fix your mouth and say, I'm all for Donald Trump, I'm all for. You done lost the frequency, baby. You've traded the soul of the movement for the aesthetics of the power. And then you have the audacity to come for Michelle Chile. I'm talking to you. You got the audacity to come for Michelle. You done lost your mind. A woman who spent 8 years being scrutinized by the length of her sleeves and the tone of her voice, and never once, not once, lost her cool. Not once did she become that angry Black woman y'all seem to think always characterizes women that look like me. You gonna side with a movement that spent years calling her unpatriotic and worse? It's not politics. That's a warped sense of reality. You need to stop it. It's the Stockholm syndrome of the soul. You are seeking validation from the very house that spent decades trying to keep you on the goddamn porch. Make it make sense to me.
It's a systemic strategy. Replace our history with propaganda. Feed us toxic masculinity and call it strength. Preach personal responsibility while defunding our schools, stealing our votes, locking us up, and calling our leaders thugs.
I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening.
I don't want to hear another person complaining about me not welcoming people like her at my table. She clearly has not learned her lesson. If at this point, after watching everything that he's done, picking people off the street, crashing our economy, causing wars with many other countries, even after seeing all of that, you would still vote for people like him. Don't expect anybody to forgive you. Stop coming up here asking for people on the left to build a bridge for you. You haven't learned your lesson. Let me make it very simple for you. If you want people to forgive you, vote Democrat. But why do they have to vote Democrat? Can they vote third party? No, it's a two-party system. Sorry, that's the reality. That is the bare minimum. Because if you're still going to vote Republican, you're still going to support Republicans, you're still going to platform Republicans, all you're going to do is make room for another DJT. And then you're going to do the exact same thing you did back in 2024. He's not that bad or she's not that bad. I don't see her doing all these things that the left is saying that she's going to do. And then he or she ends up doing exactly what we say she ends up doing. And then we'll be right back here. I didn't think he was going to do that. I didn't see her do it. Yes, you did. You saw everything that we saw. You just thought it wouldn't hurt you because you showed loyalty. I can't trust you. That is exactly why you will never sit at my table until you show me with the bare minimum of voting for a Democrat that you are actually serious about making a change. Show me with your actions. If you're actually serious about leaving MAGA, leave MAGA. Vote Democrat. Support Democrats. Platform Democrats. That's the bare minimum. And if you're not willing to do the bare minimum, you will not get my forgiveness if you won't show me with your actions that you're serious about changing. Point blank. If you think that's mean, too goddamn bad. I'm sick of this. Vote Democrat or get the hell out my face.
So let's talk about the irony of the black contrarian. You know, the ones who proudly wear the MAGA hat, who echo the talking points of a system that was never designed for their survival. I mean, is it just me, or does it seem like some folks find a strange comfort in being different, even when different means self-sabotage? They shout about freedom while standing shoulder to shoulder with those writing laws to erase their history. I mean, they praise economic policies that widen the gap between them and the wealthy few that they will never join.
Black men who are voting for Donald Trump, why? Why are you making that choice? I'm told you make up 13% of us. What do you think you know that the other 87% of us don't understand? Is it that you're so angry and so resentful, so distrusting of this country that you want to see it topple over even at our own expense? Reasonably so. Is it that you feel like Kamala Harris is a hypocrite because of what she says versus her behaviors and participation in the Middle East? Again, reasonably so. Do you think you're going to be wealthy one day? So you want to vote for tax write-offs and tax breaks and align yourself with the powerful? Do you want women's rights reduced? Like, what's the real reason? I don't think you're all idiots, but I do know there's a lot of y'all out there in hiding because you don't want to be judged by your friends and your family. But for the ones who are bold, who are standing on this choice, tell me why. I'm not trying to teach you nothing. I'm not a politician. I don't even like politicians. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm trying to understand because this is a really important choice, and I just want to know what you guys see that you think the rest of us don't see.
So I want to say one thing to every black male American who decided to vote against their best interests. You have 2 years. You have 2 midterm elections. 2 years. If this man that y'all worship within these last 8 months to a year does not grant you the things that he promised for y'all, I'm on y'all biscuit. I'm on your biscuit. I'm on your head in the most disrespectful way possible, especially if you have a daughter and especially if you have a wife. I'm on your head. I'm going to give y'all 2 years. Y'all sat back and y'all was glizzy gobbling this man to death. 2 years. You have 2 years. If there's no improvement in your life personally, financially, or anything of that nature, I'm on your biscuit. So please save this video. Remember this face. They're going to do away with this app in January. But remember this face. Save this video in your phone.
Most of the time, if you see a black person voting for Trump or saying that they support Trump, you can almost with 100% certainty bet that that person is a Christian and being raised by a black woman who also fell into evangelical Christianity, taught and led by white men. I've seen it happen with her. I've lived through it with her. I've cut off communication with her because of it. You see, as long as whoever the candidate is speaks out against gay marriage or gay rights in general, speaks out against abortion, and makes any reference to the Bible or to white Jesus, they will vote for him or her because they think it is their Christian duty to support whoever is pandering and peddling to them the same Christian values and beliefs they think are correct. All the while, that individual, Mr. Orange Jesus, is selling exactly what he needs to sell so that he can get their vote. Will he deliver on any of his promises? Perhaps. But as black people, they will suffer the consequences. Sure, they may see a great victory if gay marriage is outlawed and if abortion is banned nationally. What they don't understand is that their civil rights as an African American will be taken away. It won't matter that they're a Christian, just like Orange Jesus, because they're seen as black first. And that cancels out anything else. Because according to white Christian nationalists, black people are nothing more than a vehicle to help push the white supremacist agenda, to be used and then dropped, pushed to the side, and stepped on. So many black Christians do not understand that that Bible they think they're reading is the key to their demise. That white Jesus that they preach to you about on Sundays is not the Jesus of that Bible. And that Christianity itself is the vehicle to their mental enslavement.
People who voted for Trump only support him because he affirms their pre-existing self-hatred. Let's unpack that. If this man gets on TV and degrades your race, if he makes his disdain and hatred for your race abundantly clear on numerous occasions, talking about black jobs, he cannot make his racism any more clear than it already is. He is very anti-black, right? Now, as a black person, the only reason that somebody could turn a blind eye to that is because they've turned a blind eye to their own internalized anti-blackness towards themselves and others. That is the only rationale that I can think of for the vast majority of these black voters who support Trump. Keep in mind, a lot of these black voters are either black people raised in an all environment, or a lot of people, shockingly, are black Caribbeans who think they're better than black Americans. They have some kind of superiority complex. They're like, oh, I'm not like the black Americans. I'm a Haitian, I'm a Jamaican, I'm a Nigerian. Y'all do know that Trump don't like y'all either, right? Who gonna tell them? My point is, these people have a warped mindset of themselves and their culture and their identity, which allows them to just turn a blind eye and let this stuff slide because it doesn't matter to them. When Trump disses the black people, they don't see themselves as that group because of their own cultural identity crisis. So this is a bigger issue among the black community that y'all gotta address y'all blackness, go to therapy, whatever, immerse yourselves in the culture, do what you gotta do to realize you are black and Trump does not like you and he never will. Like, y'all gotta lock in. We are all black in Trump's eyes, regardless of our cultural background. If you're brown or black, he sees you as less than. Y'all must understand that. I beg of you, please.
All right, so every time I come to an area that's nice, the thing that they have in common is that there are like no black people around, and I am dead serious about that. And I know that people are not gonna like me.
Toby be good nigga for massa. Good nigga. Don't send Toby away. Toby be good for your hand, boss.
You're gonna be talking crap about it, whatever. This is the reality of the situation.
A few moments later.
So here's the real reason why we have this contempt, us regular, normal, everyday black Americans have this contempt for you MAGA people. It's not because we think everybody has to vote the same way. It's because we know what it costs to get where we got. Every progress that has been made in this country has been made with the Democratic vehicle driving it. We know the blood that was spilled so we could even have a seat at the table. So when you join a movement that actively works to suppress our vote, that actively tries to sanitize our histories in schools, colleges, and museums, and a system that treats our icons like targets, you black MAGA people are telling us regular, ordinary Democratic voters that the struggle doesn't matter to you, that the history doesn't matter to you, that you want to get that much closer to whiteness. You are telling us that your individual ego is more important than our communal survival. It's communal survival. We ain't angry because you're Republican. Let's be clear. You could be a Republican. We don't care. We are disappointed with you because you've become a mouthpiece for a movement that views your identity as a fucking costume. You can keep that red hat, wear it, eat it. You can keep the independent labels, do all that. But understand this. When the dust settles and the cameras go away, the people you're trying so hard to impress won't be there for you. We're the ones who will still be here, but don't expect us to forget who stood where when the lines were drawn. Now, this came out of me because Chile decided she was going to try to come for Michelle Obama and pretend like she didn't. People say, well, how do y'all get black people up off the porch? We get up off the porch when you talk about Barack and you talk about Michelle. That's how you get black people up off the porch. And I'm letting you know, respect is earned. The respect is earned. And you don't earn it by throwing stones at the people who paved the way for you to stand there in the first freaking place. For you to stand in the White House in the first freaking place. For you to have that red and white hat on in the first freaking place. You just keep Michelle Obama out your mouth. That's all you do. And maybe, just maybe, try picking up a history book before you pick up the mic again, before you pick up that hat again, okay? Because always it's going to be up forever with y'all. And we ain't playing. We ain't playing. Let me give you some more juice on the way out the door.
Man, I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you going to do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Boy, you got educated feet. Boy, I practice all the time. Here's what I set up all night trying to do. Get this. When the boat dock is Memphis, you should get yourself a job in one of the Beale Street cafes. Boy, you been reading my mind. Watch me go to Beale Street.
I got a question cause I really need to know. Do you ever get tired of being a bitch ass nigga? A hoe ass nigga. A pussy ass nigga. A pussy ass nigga. Do you get tired?